Hello, my name is Akshat Gupta. My registration number is 18BIT 0330. My team has chosen the OWASP vulnerability attacks and the preventions as a topic for this semester. My team consists of 3 people, that is Muskan Rastogi, who is performing SQL injection, Abhinava Mitra, who is performing spoofing, and me, Akshat, who is performing XSS attacks. So I have performed different types of XSS attacks with different levels of security implementation and different types of preventive measures. So I'll be walking you through each and every step. Moving on, first we go to setup, and this is a PHP based application which runs on my localhost through the XAMPP server. I'll just be restoring the database since it already exists. So as you can see, the database has been created, the tables have been created and records have been added. Now I'll move on to the XSS attack section and let's begin with the actual attacks. So now we have an option for 6 levels of XSS attacks with different levels of security implementation and preventive measures in each of them. Now I'll move on to the first level. So this is a basic thing. You enter your name and it will submit it and display it over here. So I put my name over here and it displayed your name is Akshat VG. So that is how the system is actually supposed to work. But in case I want to attack it now, I'll show you a few simple attacks. For example, you can see the script alert hi. So this is a very simple reflected attack. Whatever I type inside the alert box will be displayed over here. So I'm just going to hit submit, and you can see that everything on the web page vanished and it shows hi as an alert box. So that is not the actual functioning of the website and it has been altered through the XSS reflected attack. I'll show you the first level of implementation. It does not have any kind of security. Whatever you're taking is just going there. So this is a basic PHP function which gets the username entered and then displays it over there. So any kind of vulnerability will work over here. This was an example of reflected XSS. I'll just go through what reflected XSS is real quick so you get an idea of why it worked that way. Reflected XSS occurs when the user input is immediately returned by a web application as an error message, search result, or any other response immediately. Nothing is stored onto the browser and it is a one-time thing. Now let's move on to DOM based attacks. In DOM based attacks, what happens is you use DOM elements and manipulate the elements onto the site. So now I'm going to do a simple background color change using this document.body.style.background color. So as of now you can see that the document is blue in color, but now I'm going to change it to something like red. Let's move on, script, and it suggested it over here already. So there you go. Now I'll click on submit. As you can see, the whole background color changed, and this is a very simple implementation of DOM based, but you can use it to steal cookies, you can use it to do different kinds of stuff. Even this is not permanent, even this is not stored onto the browser, just like reflected XSS. Now I'll move on to the next step, which is a little more secure application, but I'll still perform and break that. This will help us know what is the best preventive measure for XSS attacks. So again, now I'll just show you what is the security measure implemented over here. Over here, if you see the term script anywhere, then what I'm doing is I'm replacing it with nothing. So as soon as you come across something like script alert, so the script in front of alert will go away, and hence the script behind the alert will also go away, and in the end it becomes a sanitized string which cannot be used for any kind of XSS attacks. So this is a very basic thing which can easily be broken. I'll just show you an example. So there's something called audio src. Over here you put an audio link, but since there's no audio file on the whole site, now what I'm going to do is I'll just put alert 1. In case there's no audio file over there, the on error function gets executed and the alert is shown. So as you can see, it showed 1, which is the expected output for the attack but not the expected output of the application. So this level was easily broken because I did not use a script tag, I just used an audio tag with an on error function. Now let's move on to level 3. Over here I am checking for each and everything, be it lowercase, uppercase, etc., for a script. Again, this uses regular expressions and hence it can easily be broken using the same audio function. But the advantage of this over the previous method is, in the previous method if you don't type lowercase script, then it works. That is, if you type script tag in all capitals, it would still be an XSS attack, but over here because of regular expressions it won't work. But in this case again the on error function will work because you're again checking only for script tags. So this worked again. Now let's move on to the next level, which is the 4th level. Yep. So in the 4th level I'm doing two things. First, as the previous step, I'm using regular expressions, and in addition to that I'm checking for different keywords which may be present, which I usually use for XSS attacks. For example, alert is a common JavaScript function used, prompt is a common JavaScript function used. You use DOM manipulation, you change the header tag size, you change header tag settings, you add new stuff like that. You add really big text using the header tags, or you use the normal script. So if you compare everything with these values, and if anything comes over there, it is just replaced by a blank option once again, plus the normal script tag checking is there. But in this case, weirdly enough, even though the same command has on error alert, it is not directly executed, right? It is a callback function of the on error function, so it is not a direct alert, hence alert was not moved, and you can still attack it using the same command. So this is a very big security bug both in PHP as well as in this application, for which I came up with a very simple solution. Over here what I'm going to be doing is, if there is any kind of tag, if you want to do an XSS attack, you will place a JavaScript or HTML tag, right? And then that tag will be used to execute different functions. Now I'm going to remove the tag itself, and whatever is there, it will go as a plain string, and if it's a plain string, then it won't execute anything. So let's just see how that will work. So again I'm putting audio src on error alert, nothing happened, it just printed that and it removed the starting tag, so it's not a HTML tag again, it's just a normal string. Now let's try script alert, submit. Again the starting script did not come in both the opening script tag and the closing script tag, so that is again something very weird, but at least it solved our problem and the XSS attack part has gone away now. Now what I'm going to be doing is, I have implemented stored and reflected, I've implemented DOM based and reflected XSS of different types. I'll show you a few more test cases which have been implemented and can be used. So you can if you can see over here, you can see different types of script to be written in the first level. For example, uppercase, lowercase, as I mentioned, plus DOM based attacks like this, plus on error is not the only thing, you can use JavaScript alert as well. The only disadvantage will be if someone is checking for the word script and removing it, then it won't work because you're removing the word script. But if, like in the second level, we were checking for the script tag itself, right, that has curly that is less than and greater than symbols as well, in that kind of a scenario this will work. Similarly, you have iframes, you have SVG based attacks, all these work. Moving on to the next step, over here we stepped it up a notch, and over here only iframes, on error functions, video error functions, all those work. In the 5th level, all kinds of attacks and all kind of attacks are prevented and none of the payloads work, all because the scripts are removed. But that is not a permanent solution because in the data you will still see that, right? So I came up with a solution for this. PHP has a function for sanitizing strings called HTML special chars. Just use that function and you will sanitize all the strings and no XSS attack will take place. So these were all the attacks which were performed for Review 2, plus a few more additional attacks were shown above in the document. In addition to that, I was asked to do stored accesses as well. Now coming to stored accesses is a really different thing compared to the previous two. In stored accesses, what happens is user input is stored onto the target server, such as in a database, on your local computer, in a comment field, etc., and you can access that later. It is a permanent thing. If it goes into the database, it stays over there. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you how the stored accesses attack works. Coming here, my level 6 is the stored accesses attacks, which is a new implementation right now. You just opened the site, you didn't know what is going to happen, and it redirected me to Google. Okay, it may be a bug, that's what you must be thinking, but there's a really cool implementation which is very scary if you think about the security aspect. What I did was, I just used document.location, and from here I used the cookie stealer PHP code which I had written, and I encoded and injected the cookie from the document. So right now my Google was logged in, right? So whatever cookies were stored, etc., would have been written onto this log file. I'll just show you the cookie stealer function first. So what this does is, it decodes the URL and gets everything, opens it and writes it into the log.txt file. See, if you can see over here, fwrite cookies. So we have written the cookies. Over here you can see the XRF token, you can see the PHP session ID, etc., and a hacker can use this for various different things, and they can easily attack the application and get really crucial data. And this is permanent, because you can see even after you refresh my page, that is if I go back or something like that, it will still be over here. My log.txt won't change on its own. So that is a very critical reason why stored accesses is one of the most dangerous types of attacks, and this cannot be prevented using the usual measures unless you have a predefined software to check for accesses attacks. So anyone can just inject something onto a database, and if someone else opens it, accesses the file, the database will return whatever I've put, say this cookie function. If that is written onto someone else's thing, even that will be written onto my log.txt if that's on a server. So that is how stored accesses is performed. Moving on, now I was told to compare the performance with the review papers I went through in my first review. So let's go to the first review papers. So I went through 5 different papers with different types of accesses attacks put up, be it stored, be it reflected, be it DOM based. So all of these perform the same thing, and everything was successful in most of the cases, and it was very easy to detect them using software as well. But in case you want it to be undetectable or really stealthily put, then in that kind of a scenario you can easily just follow this paper, where we use attack via email, stealing cookies, etc., which is the existing model, and we use the suggested model says us to use these particular tools: escape all HTML, CSS, JavaScript attributes, which if you remember, I use regex, etc., right? So that is a method suggested over here, which was implemented over there. Plus if you see the next paper over here, also there is heavy server load, there's SQL injection and XSS attacks on the same platform, which is exactly how our platform works. To get the testing, etc., done, they found that the system's overhead is between 4.5% to 12.2%, and the time execution in the system maintains bulk data. So the thing which is being led upon by this is, irrespective of how much data is there, the execution time of our application did not reduce, and the attack was performed. If you remember the stored accesses, it took less than 1 second to redirect to Google, and it also logged the data within that much time. So that is a implementation which was figured out through these research papers. I hope you liked my review. Please do get back to me if you have any doubts. Thank you.